I think there's an overwhelming sense of pride here at the Johns Hopkins Hospital.
And now we're going to have the reputation with the facility that matches the sciences
It's the beginning of a new era.
It's time, it's here, and it's a whole new world.
Ready to move in and get started. That's how I feel.
These new buildings, I think, will now match the quality of the faculty and staff that we have. That's been my aim since I came here. And these buildings were designed with that in mind. Not what was easy for us as the deliverers of care, but importantly, what it is for the patient.
You walk in here and it feels airy. You feel hope. You have natural light, so you're energized. The rooms are big enough so patients and their families could come on rounds and participate with us.
It is a completely different feel, a completely different look.
It's the light, the light, the light. I mean, that is the biggest difference.
It has helped to make what would typically be a very scary, enormous, looming presence into something that is full of color and light and reflection.
What you see almost in every corner of this place is art that expresses the feelings of incredibly talented people, and it comes out in the smiles that you see.
With Johns Hopkins, we know that the endowment to build the Sheikh Zayed Tower have been given to the right people and have been placed in the right hands.
My mother would want great advances in medicine, and a whole bunch of children over the years walking out with a whole new lease on life.
Bringing computers to the bedside, the new technology that's being integrated into the building, the nurse call system, the patient lift system, even basic things, the way the bathrooms are set up for the patients are incredibly friendly.
Because we have the CT scanner, ultrasound suite, MRI suite here in the emergency department, that means less traveling for the patient.
There is a lot of ingenuity that's placed in this facility, not just for the nurses and for the physicians, but for the support staff as well.
We've added a service called At Your Request. It's similar to room service at a hotel.
It'll be very hard to walk from one area to another. So this will give you a way to put heavy materials online and you can wait for it on the other side.
I think in the hospital, when you come in, that initial reaction that people are here to care for you sets the whole tone.
Having the emergency department at the front entrance of the hospital really represents, I think, not just an architectural change, but a philosophical change in the way we have our doors open to emergency patients.
But the core of what makes Hopkins Hopkins is the people. It's the patients and the families and the staff.
We built the finest building possible in healthcare to serve everybody, including the community.
Because the community is the hospital and the hospital is the community.
People are going to look on the horizon and see these wonderful, beautiful, colorful, bright, welcoming buildings and feel good about coming to Johns Hopkins.
Their presence has also affected the Abu Dhabi medical institutions themselves, where we have a transfer of knowledge moving from Baltimore all the way down here to Abu Dhabi.
Everybody shares the same passion for these children that need our help, and it's an honor to be part of it.
So I remember this one nurse that would sing to me, because we'd watch High School Musical movies and stuff, and she'd sing.
Having, just so much glass and openness, you can see what is happening. You can see that there's life beside your door.
Because of the generosity of a stranger, I'm alive today.
If we do our jobs right, medicine will change here.
And that's a legacy that anybody would be excited to be a part of.
I think my sister and I will be have a smile on our face a number of times when we think of the Charlotte R. Bloomberg Children's Center.
My thanks is nothing compared to the innumerable moments that are going to happen in this building.
You know, when the sun comes up in the morning, it's a brand new day, right? And day of hope. And I think that's what these buildings are all about.
It's just a wonderful place to be.
It's a family.
Hopkins gives you hope.
Welcome to the Charlotte R. Bloomberg Children's Center.
We welcome you to the Sheikh Zayed Tower.
Welcome to the Hopkins community.
Welcome to Hopkins.
Welcome to Hopkins.
Welcome to Hopkins.
Welcome to Hopkins.
Welcome.
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 Welcome to Hopkins.
Ladies,
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the community at the Peabody Institute of Johns Hopkins, good evening.
And now, please welcome the Dean of the Medical Faculty and CEO of Johns Hopkins Medicine, Edward D. Miller.
Well, good evening. On behalf of Johns Hopkins Medicine, I welcome you to the dedication of the Sheikh Zayed Cardiovascular and Critical Care Tower and the Charlotte R. Bloomberg Children's Center at the Johns Hopkins Hospital. The talented artists and musicians from our own Peabody Institute, whose performance we just enjoyed, are the first of many communities you will see this evening. We'll hear from many different groups, perspectives and disciplines whose hard work built these sparkling towers. You will see them in the speakers who will address you, in the entertainment we have chosen for you, in the program you hold in your hands, and in the faces of the staff who will welcome you into the new front doors of the Johns Hopkins Hospital. As wonderful as this moment is, it did not come easily. It took all of us. Shortly into my tenure here, I looked around at our outdated facilities and knew that we needed to think big, to take risks, if we were to create clinical environments that matched the quality of the faculty and staff working within them. We needed more than a facelift. We needed a new idea of what a hospital truly should be. And I suspected what we now know, that this would mean taking on the largest hospital expansion project of its kind in the nation. At the time, I remember saying, you can build a children's hospital or an adult tower. You can't do both. After hearing no for a while, I gave them an ultimatum. I said, tell us what we need to do to build and what we need and how we will build it. And after 6 weeks, we had a number, a framework, and the beginning of a plan, thanks to Rich Grassi and Ron Wertman. Fortunately for us, it was a plan that the communities represented here tonight embraced. In keeping with our history, these towers will foster new discoveries, new ways of thinking, and new advances that will shape and define medicine for the next century and beyond. And like the vision that founded modern medicine at Hopkins, these towers were made possible through partnerships and collaborations. They were created and designed with the input of physicians, nurses, patients, families, elected officials, and the residents of the community in which we live and work. They reflect divergent perspectives, talents, disciplines, and cultures. Today, you will hear from two benefactors whose stories illustrate the power of visionary leadership and public service. One of these is His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan bin Khalifa Al Nahyan, speaks to the legacy of one visionary leader, namely Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, a legacy of national and international unity, prosperity, and a commitment to improve the health and well-being of his people, and importantly, the people of the world. Our other great benefactor, Michael Bloomberg, has a singular relationship with this institution. As an alumnus, benefactor, board chair, visionary, and passionate advocate of Hopkins' continued leadership in health, education, and public service. As the largest single donor in our history, Mike has given to and helped shape every part of Johns Hopkins. From the endowed professorship in his mother's name to a support for the School of Public Health just down the street that bears his name, to the gift that created the Charlotte R. Bloomberg Children's Center, Mike has supported, challenged, and grown this institution, starting with his first donation of $5 as a new graduate in 1965. Clearly, great things happen when communities come together, when art meets research, when philanthropy meets academia, and when medicine meets engineering. I invite you to see in the seats around you and in your own seat the full community whose vision made this day possible. In the last year of the 19th century, we opened a revolutionary hospital based on a shared vision of many today in the early years In this 21st century, we are taking the next step forward. I would now like to turn the stage over to a representative of the most important community of all, namely our patients.
Hi, my name is Gavin Michael Baird, and I feel very lucky to be part of the Johns Hopkins community. When I was 9 months old, I was really sick. My parents found the GI department at Hopkins, and because of that, I'm not only here, I'm great. Being a sick kid is no fun, but the new Children's Center will make it a lot better for kids and their family. Lots of nice people helped build this place. I'd like you to meet one. A man who did everything he could to make it the best it could be, inside and out. I think he supported Johns Hopkins more than anybody except for Johns Hopkins. Actually, I'm a little mad with him. When I told my parents he named a building for his mother, my mom said, "What you gonna name for me?" That's okay, I forgive him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Mayor of New York City and also a member of the Johns Hopkins University class of 1964, the Honorable Michael R. Bloomberg.
Thank you, Gavin. I enjoyed the story about your mother. But don't worry, knowing the development office at Johns Hopkins, there will be plenty of things to name for your mother. Your Highness, Dean Miller, President Peterson, President Daniels, Governor O'Malley, Senator Mikulski, distinguished guests, family, friends, all of you, on behalf of my sister Marjorie and my entire family, it really is an honor to be here. Over the past few years, we've watched with great anticipation as this building has taken shape. And today, looking up at these magnificent new towers, I cannot tell you the immense satisfaction that our hopes and dreams have been fulfilled, but more than we could ever hope for, and we could not be more proud. We are proud to be associated with Hopkins, a beacon of scholarship, of innovation, and intellectual honesty. We are proud of these facilities and what they'll mean to the university, East Baltimore, and the world. And I'm pleased to see that our new mayor is here with us. Welcome, Madam Mayor. She was nice enough to receive me this afternoon. I can tell you all mayors have exactly the same problems. Everybody wants something and nobody wants to pay for it. I'm sure that's not the way it is in the United Arab Emirates, but here we are proud of sharing space with the Sheikh Zayed Tower, named for a man who brought the Emirates together and kept them together and put them on a path to economic prosperity, and proud that together all of us here today have been part of a unique collaboration between patients and families, between caregivers, community leaders, doctors, donors, designers, artists, and architects. The last three communities on that list, I think, deserve a special mention because inside and out, the new Johns Hopkins Hospital building is a place that's intended to comfort and inspire through the innovative use of art and design. And to understand what I'm saying, you only need to look behind me. It's a little bit blocked, but I don't often give speeches standing in front of a pair of colorful rhinos, at least not to my knowledge. But that's exactly my point. It is these signature defining touches from the great designer Robert Israel, along with more than 70 other artists from around the world, including the Brooklyn artist who designed the facade, Spencer Finch, and they've all contributed to a unique and uplifting environment of support and healing. Now, none of that would have been possible without the amazing talent of the Hopkins design team, Sally McConnell and Michael Ayati, the relentless commitment of the firm Perkins and Will, of the firm Olin and Clark Corporation, which incidentally is led by my good friend and a great Hopkins and Maryland benefactor, Jim Clark, by the flawless eye of our curator, Nancy Rosen, and consultant, Alan Koskowitz, and the tireless attention to detail by my colleague, Patty Harris. I also want to thank others for their invaluable input, including Nanette Smith, and express my gratitude to Ed Miller, Ron Peterson, and Ron Daniels for their steadfast leadership. This week, they have been very nice in saying that I am generous, but I think there were days in the past few years, no doubt, when they thought they should have chosen a different adjective, perhaps crazy, for wanting this building to be so many things at once: a world-class hospital and the embodiment of design excellence. Today, I think we all feel incredibly pleased that the new facilities will heal the sick and comfort the soul. That the Children's Center will bear the name of my mother, Charlotte Bloomberg, is truly gratifying. For those of you who knew her and loved her, I think it is only fitting. She and my father taught my sister Marjorie and me many lessons, but perhaps the most important, was the sense that the greatest and most rewarding thing we can do with our lives is to give back to others and to make sure that others would benefit from the good luck or good fortune that came our way. And that is something that we in turn hopefully have passed on to our own children, and hope that they will pass along to generations to come. Because ultimately, I know what will define my life is not my years as mayor, or the company I founded, or even my 2008 nomination from US Magazine as one of the 25 most stylish New Yorkers. Eat your heart out. It isn't any tangible thing, but the immense satisfaction of making a difference. And it reminds me of something I've believed for many years. It is so much better to share your good fortune now while you're around, to see all the good things you can do with it, rather than after you're gone. I told a story last night at dinner that I learned this lesson from another Hopkins alumnus, Zanville Krieger. He was a wealthy Baltimore lawyer who I knew planned to give the school a $50 million donation after his death. And he realized on second thought, why wait? Why let another generation go on without education? Why let some cure for disease be discovered after more time has elapsed and more people have died? So he gave his money then rather than leaving it in his will. And that really impressed me, and I watched him revel in the difference that his money really made for the rest of his life. My mother came down to see the building going up a few years ago and to revive the plans for the building, during which time we had a fantastic meeting. Cardinal Keeler was there, and I can just tell you it was one of the nicest things. When I invited Cardinal Keeler, I thought they were the same age. Turns out the Cardinal was 20 years younger than my mother, but being a Cardinal, he certainly knew how to deal with her. And she talked about the Cardinal for the rest of her life. My mother was excited about the wonderful project. We kept her posted with pictures as the building went up. But it wasn't the fact that having her name on the wall was what turned her on. Her feeling about that was, well, if my sister and I wanted it, then okay, she'd go along with it. But today, I think Marjorie and I share the feeling. If this center will bring the youngest and most vulnerable patients the kind of care and comfort that they need, if it will increase the knowledge and experience of the greatest doctors and teachers, if it will inspire other institutions to do more and to do better, then we all will be happy. I'll never forget the first day that I saw the Hopkins campus slightly more than 50 years ago. I was so impressed, so beautiful, I thought I had died and gone to heaven. Unfortunately, I was wrong. But today, I think I remember just a little bit how I felt. You make our family feel greatly appreciated here today, and that is really a wonderful thing. But I want you to know how much we appreciate what all of you here do every single day to make this a better world for so many people. I thank you, we all thank you, and I know my mother thanks you. God bless.
Good evening. I'm Lauren Adams, a local graphic designer and one of the 70 artists featured in this new building. It's refreshing that such a wide variety of art is featured in this hospital. In my project, a series of patterned alphabet prints, I actually collaborated with young patients themselves. Workshops taught patients about papel picado, the traditional Latin American art of cutting paper. It was so rewarding to watch patients delight as they revealed patterns when they unfolded their tissue. These patterns became the inspiration you see in the vivid designs of the alphabet and the phrases throughout the new facilities. Tonight, I'm pleased to introduce another form of collaborative art. Please welcome the All Children's Chorus of Annapolis Ensemble.
42 years ago, a young student from a small college in Minnesota opened a thick white envelope. It contained his acceptance to the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. To say the least, this changed his life, I know, because I was that student. I'm Peter Augrey, director of the Johns Hopkins Malaria Research Institute at the Bloomberg School of Public Health. Those here today know that education, research, and clinical care form the bases of major events in our lives. It is here at Johns Hopkins I met my wife, Mary. It is here at Johns Hopkins where I became a medical doctor. And yes, it is here at Johns Hopkins I spent my major part of my medical career doing research. And in these magnificent new buildings, future generations of students, having opened their own thick white envelopes, will come to Johns Hopkins to continue the mission for many decades to come. Indeed, there's something very special about Johns Hopkins. When we were celebrating opening of a new building, the most recent discovery in a laboratory or clinic, or yes, another call from Stockholm on behalf of one of our faculty members, I think we will all agree that Johns Hopkins is a different kind of party school. And now it is my privilege to introduce the host of this party, our leader, our inspiration, and our friend, the 14th president of Johns Hopkins University, Ronald J. Daniels.
Well, thank you, Peter. In his characteristically modest way, Peter seems to have overlooked one of his other accomplishments since that fateful white envelope arrived from Hopkins. He is, of course, the recipient of the 2003 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. It's still so great, Peter, say that again and again and again. We'll be doing that for a long time to come. Most of you will have seen John Singer Sargent's iconic portrait of the four doctors that adorns the back wall of the West Reading Room of the Welsh Medical Library. The four founding physicians of our medical institution, William Welsh, William Halsted, William Osler, and Howard Kelly, are seen gathered around a dark wooden table. They look pensive, their gaze fixed firmly ahead. The image is remarkable for a number of reasons, but one that is often overlooked is that Sargent declined to include a single medical instrument in the composition. Instead, the setting in which the four were painted, in fact, Sargent's London studio, is filled with the symbols of the humanism that marked and defined these men and fueled their landmark achievements in medicine. And so the portrait depicts an outsized globe, an El Greco painting, a quill in Osler's hand, and a book later identified as a 1515 edition of Petrarch's poems. These symbols that are found in this portrait are fitting. The grand project that these four men pioneered at Johns Hopkins did not spring exclusively from the field of medicine, but was imbued with insights gleaned from the natural sciences, from arts and letters, and the social sciences, all of which were gloriously represented in our young university. In this way, our School of Medicine and hospital became places that not only sought to cure the physical afflictions that plague us, but aimed to acknowledge and understand the joy and despair, the achievement and aspiration that lie at humanity's core. There is little doubt that in true Hopkins tradition, the buildings beside us will always be, as Ed Miller said, sites of imaginative basic and clinical research that will stand at the very forefront of medical advancement. But they will also be places of humanity, nourished by the spirit of collaboration and truth-seeking that knits our university together. And for that, we are deeply fortunate. It is, of course, clear that our great cause is not confined by the constraints, by the limitations of geography. The community we call Hopkins extends beyond Baltimore. It encompasses and connects people across the globe. Today, I have the very distinct honor of introducing His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan bin Khalifa Al Nahyan. Sheikh Zayed is a grandson of the late Sheikh Zayed, for whom this tower is named. His presence here today symbolizes in a very tangible way the power of good and noble ideas to link peoples across the world. I'm grateful that Sheikh Zayed is joined today by his father, His Highness Sheikh Sultan bin Khalifa Al Nahyan, and His Excellency, the United Arab Emirates Ambassador to the United States, Yusuf Al Otaiba. And of course, their presence represents the generosity and support of people who were not able to join us today, including the President of the United Arab Emirates, His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The relationship between Johns Hopkins and the UAE began several decades ago. Since that time, it has grown to include not only compassionate care, but acts of great, indeed extraordinary benefaction, an alliance that we are confident will shape the future of medicine in the Emirate. We are grateful for this relationship and delighted that Sheikh Zayed has agreed to speak at today's celebration. Sheikh Zayed.
Thank you, President Daniels, for that heartfelt introduction. On behalf of His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates, it is a great pleasure to be amongst you all on this landmark occasion. His Highness Sheikh Sultan bin Khalifa Al Nahyan, Advisor to the President of the UAE, Mayor Bloomberg, Governor O'Malley, Dean Miller, and President Peterson, distinguished guests and friends. The story we are celebrating today has its origins over half a century ago. It all started with one man, one vision, and one relationship that now spans nations and geography. Over 40 years ago, in 1971, His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the late founder and first president of the United Arab Emirates, inspired the separate Emirates to create a new federation that would advance the common good. Under his leadership, the UAE developed into a prosperous, modern, diverse nation, one that has contributed a lot and has actually evolved the way social ambitions in terms of human development and healthcare have actually taken the fore. The UAE also serves as a successful example for unity within the Arab world. Over the following years, Sheikh Zayed devoted himself and devoted his life to the service of his people and to advancing opportunity in health, in education, and general all-around well-being for peoples of the world, the ones who needed it the most at that specific point in time. Johns Hopkins has worked closely with Abu Dhabi and the rest of the UAE to realize Sheikh Zayed's vision. Since the mid-1980s, Hopkins has provided specialized care for thousands of Emirati citizens here in Baltimore, including Sheikh Zayed himself. Johns Hopkins has also helped build and improve overall healthcare development in the UAE by assisting with management and oversight of 3 of its major hospitals, including the Tuam Hospital, the Corniche Hospital, and the Rahba Hospital. Our partnership continues to grow with Johns Hopkins. The Health Authority for Abu Dhabi, working closely with the University of Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, and the Bloomberg School for Public Health have launched a new graduate-level study program in health management and leadership that will further enhance the expertise of the Emirates healthcare professionals. And today we celebrate perhaps the most visible sign of that long and important relationship, the dedication of the Sheikh Zayed Cardiovascular Tower at the Johns Hopkins Hospital. This achievement would not have been completed without the close attention of His Highness General Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces, who has been long devoted to ensuring the project would provide excellent services and world-class treatment to its current and future patients. I would like to take this opportunity to pay a tribute for his efforts and dedication throughout the phases of this project. This beautiful and state-of-the-art new building reflects the shared passion for excellence and innovation and a common commitment to advancing the understanding and treatment of disease. This new facility will continue the legacy of Sheikh Zayed, but most importantly, we are hopeful that it will provide generations of patients with the best and most innovative care, and that the discoveries made here will benefit people all around the world. Finally, this tower represents the goodwill of the people of the United Arab Emirates and their history of philanthropy and active commitment to improving healthcare at home and abroad. Other recent UAE initiatives include leading the fight against malaria in the Gulf region, a partnership with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for the immunization of children in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and the creation of the Sheikh Zayed Institute for Pediatric Surgical Innovation at the Children's National Medical Center in Washington, D.C. I would like to take a moment to recognize and thank the UAE's ambassador, His Excellency Yusuf Al-Ateba, and members of the staff that I have seen from the UAE Embassy who are amongst us this very afternoon. The ongoing work that the embassy and everyone working in it so far has contributed directly to the great positive and good relations that the UAE share with the United States of America. And many fine institutions, American institutions like Johns Hopkins. In closing, on behalf of my family and the people of the UAE, allow me to congratulate and thank Johns Hopkins for its enduring friendship and its commitment. Thank you as well to the people of Baltimore and of Maryland for their warm hospitality that they have shown both my family and many Emirati citizens who have come all the way across the Atlantic to be here. And our congratulations to Mayor Bloomberg for his generosity and his kindness that he has shown Johns Hopkins and many other institutions in the past decades. Thank you very much. It's truly a pleasure to be amongst you on this landmark occasion.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robert Imes. I've been at Hopkins for 23 years, working in the facilities. And a lot of you already know about my story. It says a lot about Hopkins community. I was out for dialysis treatments, and on the first day I came back to work, I ran into Pamela Polk, the Vice President of Human Resources. She asked me if she could do anything for me. Well, I said, I could use a kidney. And she said, well, I'll give you one of mine. And she did. So I was out for 2.5 months. And I came back to work. And recently, I've been working on many colors in our new clinical building here. And what I have to say now is the paint is dry. Let's move in. Okay? Okay. And now here to help celebrate, we also in the family of Hopkins from the university. They are students from Hopkins, an example of Hopkins global community. Please welcome South Asian fusion singing group Krante.
बहकता है आज तो मेरा तन बदन मैं प्यासी हूँ मुझे भर ले अपनी बाहों में जरा जरा बहकता है आज तो मेरा तन बदन मैं प्यासी हूँ मुझे भर ले अपनी बाहों में है मेरी कसम तुझको सनम दूर कहीं ना जा ये दूरी कहती है पास मेरे आ जा रे सही प्यार तो कर मैं भूली नहीं हंसी मुलाकातें बेचैन करके मुझको मुझसे यूं ना फेर नजर रूठेगा ना मुझसे मेरे साथ ये वादा कर तेरे बिना मुश्किल है जीना मेरा मेरे आज तो मेरा तन बदन मैं प्यासी हूँ मुझे भर ले अपनी बाहों में है मेरी कसम तुझको सनम दूर कहीं ना जा ये दूरी कहती है पास मेरे आ जा रे
What an exciting day this is for the Hopkins Hospital community. As you will see when you tour these two wonderful buildings, as I have, and you will marvel at how exceptional these awe-inspiring buildings are. I'm Doris Fader. I've been a member of the Johns Hopkins Women's Board for 35 years. I was a child when I joined. I am proud of that association, and I'm very proud of the work of our board members to support clinical care of the patients and most recently the gift of a beautiful lobby in the Charlotte R. Bloomberg Children's Center. Today's dedication is about the opening of 2 state-of-the-art facilities that will enable Hopkins to do even more for the people of Baltimore and the citizens of Maryland. We're so lucky to have the support of a dedicated governor who stands behind our mission, and it is my pleasure to introduce him today, the governor of the state of Maryland, the Honorable Martin O'Malley.
Wow. Doris, thank you very, very much. It's a great honor to be here with all of you. You look great from up here, I must say. What a terrific day for our state. So many people have come together in this place of healing, our place of healing, Johns Hopkins. Some of you are from all over, have come from far distances across the country and from other countries indeed. And I stand here on behalf of the people of Maryland and on behalf of Senator Barbara Mikulski, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake, and the other elected officials here. We're very, very proud of this accomplishment today, and I thank the people of Maryland, and they thank you, people who have contributed $100 million to this great institution and these terrific buildings of healing. To His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan bin Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan and all of our friends from the United Arab Emirates, we thank you for your generosity in making this day possible. We thank you for bringing to reality the beautiful truth of Islam as we seek to make whole, to cure, to reform the ways in which we heal ourselves and one another. To my friend Mayor Michael Bloomberg, Hopkins alumnus Mayor Bloomberg, and to his sister Marjorie Tiven and the Bloomberg family, thank you for making real the hope of Tikkun Olam, of repairing this world of ours, and for making real the beautiful Talmudic truth that the highest form of wisdom is indeed kindness. The great American mystic Thomas Merton once wrote, "What has to be healed in us is our true nature. What we have to learn is love." The healing and the learning are the same thing. For at the very core of our essence, we are constituted in God's likeness by our freedom. Today in Baltimore, the original land of the free and the home of the brave, because of your generosity, because of your compassion, we write together with Johns Hopkins Hospital a new chapter in our shared story of discovery, of learning, and of healing. And it is our freedom that moves us forward with the freedom to dream, forward with the freedom to build, forward with the freedom to give, forward with the freedom to love, and the freedom to heal this world of ours, one life at a time. Thank you, and congratulations to each and every one of you.
Johns Hopkins. This place may carry the name of a single man, but what we do, our promise, has always been not about the one, but about the many. Numerous men and women, each fulfilling a uniquely important role. Some are legends we will always celebrate. Some are names we will never know. All are part of the promise. Partners, teams, whole communities, sharing a single dedication, a commitment that reaches through the years, around the world, across the bed. A beacon lit long ago that still shines to illuminate another century. Johns Hopkins Medicine. Together, we are building on the promise.
Good evening. My name is Obi Okoye, and I'm a nurse in the neurocritical care unit. I've been in the neuroscience department here at Hopkins for the last 17 years. I am humbled and honored to be here to represent the thousands of dedicated nurses who are the backbone of this hospital. Ask any nurse, we're really the ones who run this place. Hopkins is a huge caring family, and I love being a part of a huge family with the best people from all over the world. My first impression the very day I toured the new building was that we finally have a place that matches the image and prestige of the world's best hospital. At Hopkins, we talk about the promise of medicine. To me, the word promise means what we do is a calling, not just a job. One person that represents and understands our calling is our president. Friends and Hopkins family members, it's with great privilege I introduce to you the president of Johns Hopkins Hospital and Health System, Mr. Ronald R. Peterson.
Well, thank you very much, Obi. And for those of you who may not already know this, I'd like to share a fact that should be better known. No one group is more responsible for the overall continuity and quality of care in our hospitals than our outstanding nursing staff. How about a round of applause for Johns Hopkins Nursing? Now, I'd like to follow the remarks of Governor O'Malley by acknowledging the elected officials at the federal, state, and local level who represent all of the diverse communities present with us this evening and whose commitment to those communities helped shape and support this effort. And Governor, we are particularly grateful for the financial support we have received from the state of Maryland for this project, which has indeed totaled $100 million. Thank you. And to our senior senator, Barbara Mikulski, I would like to personally thank you, Barbara, for your steadfast support and for that of the entire congressional delegation over these many years. We greatly appreciate all that you have done for Johns Hopkins. And right here in Baltimore, of course, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake and City Council President Jack Young, we are most grateful for your leadership and support of Johns Hopkins, and we appreciate the presence of all of our elected officials who are here this evening. Thank you. Now, we are getting near the end of this evening's celebration. I know that I've been thinking about this moment for at least 10 years, and I'm sure many of you have as well. Today we mark the end of one journey and the beginning of another. We dedicate the Sheikh Zayed Tower and the Charlotte Bloomberg Children's Center to those who will inhabit it now and those who will inhabit it in the future. Years from now, people will gaze upon these magnificent towers and say, this is what can happen when good people come together with good and noble common purpose. It is not a clear-cut moment, however, and it is not easy to choose the words to acknowledge it. When preparing for these remarks, I thought of many things. The thousands of meetings with Ed Miller in which we have sat together, the moments of anxiety, pride, frustrations along the way, and the thrill of seeing these buildings come to life. But eventually, for this moment, I felt it most appropriate to go back to the vision we all inherit in the words of Johns Hopkins himself. Hopkins' original letter of instruction to the hospital's first trustees is striking in its simplicity. His stipulations were few: that there be erected on 13 acres of land situated in the city of Baltimore and bounded by Wolfe, Monument, Broadway, and Jefferson Streets, a hospital, which shall in construction and arrangement compare favorably with any institution of like character in this country or in Europe, and which shall form a part of the medical school of that university for which I have made ample provision in my will. Hidden in the simplicity of the instruction was the genesis of a new model and mandate to bring together communities of thought from across the world and across disciplines for the common welfare. Now, while we have exceeded the physical boundaries of Mr. Hopkins' original stipulation, we continue to follow his instructions and fulfill the vision of our founder. Today, you have met some of the people who will carry out this important work, people who will fill these buildings with hope, who will bring healing and comfort to patients who will come here from virtually all over the world. You have also heard this evening from many whose names and faces you recognize from public service. But I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge the thousands, the literally thousands of people whose names you will never know, people whose stalwart commitment brought these buildings up from the ground, people who day after day did quiet, essential, methodical work to ensure that our shared vision was executed with absolute integrity. Along this journey, there have also been a few very special people with whom we have worked. People like Trustee Mark Rubenstein, who for years traveled here on a regular basis from his home in Philadelphia as a volunteer and at his own expense to oversee the construction of these new facilities. People like our own Sally McConnell. Sally, happy birthday. Michael, happy birthday, Sally. What a day. And her associates, Michael Iotti and Howard Reel, who oversaw and brought to fruition the completion of these buildings. The American architect John Portman once said, "Buildings should serve people, not the other way around." And we have been so ably served by Perkins and Will, the architects for the project, by BR&A and Thornton Tomasetti, our engineers, Clark Bank Joint Venture, the construction managers, and a very creative group of people from Mayor Bloomberg's team who helped make this building the very special place that it is. In my role as president of the Johns Hopkins Hospital and Health System, throughout my career in hospital administration, I can honestly tell you that I've seen my share of buildings. I can tell you that it is rare to see in one moment and in one facility such a deliberate and elegant expression of what we stand for. The new Sheikh Zayed Cardiovascular and Critical Care Tower and the Charlotte R. Bloomberg Children's Center at Johns Hopkins Hospital represent the best of who we are as a hospital, as a university, as a community. We are grateful to the royal family and to Michael Bloomberg and his family for their generosity and trust, and are honored to have these two towers bear the names of two remarkable individuals, His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan and Charlotte R. Bloomberg. You are about to be welcomed into the facilities you yourselves helped create. It is my hope that you see in them the fulfillment of a promise to our founder, to our patients, to each other. A promise kept. Thank you. Now, if you would, please join me in welcoming Baltimore's own Ellen Cherry, who will lead us up to the moment of the dedication itself.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, calling every woman, calling every man, we're the generation who can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday, and we're already late. We've been looking for a song to sing. We search for a melody, search for someone to lead. We've been looking for the world to change. If you feel the same, then go on and say if you're out there. Sing along with me if you're out there. I'm dying to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. Tomorrow's starting now. Now. No more broken promises, no more call to war, unless it's love and peace that we're really fighting for. We can destroy hunger, we can conquer hate. Put down the arms and raise your voice, we're joining hands today. We've been looking for a song to sing, search for a leader, but the leader was me. We've been looking for the world to change. If you feel the same, then go on and say. Shake the world, believe again, it starts within. We can be the change we want to see if you're out there. If you're out there and you're ready now, say it loud, scream it out if you're out there. Stand up and sing with me if you're out there. I'm dying to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. I'm dying to believe that you stand up, stand up, stand up, stand if you're out there. If you're out there, sing along with me if you're out there. I'm dying to believe that you're out there. If you're out there, stand up, stand if you're out there. If you're out
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Good, good, good.
Hey, Gavin, stay with us, boy. Hey, it was great. You did good, great job.
Be very proud.
Congratulations, Mayor Bloomberg. Congratulations. You know, I didn't notice the tie until later.
Okay, you're okay, Gavin. You okay?
Your Highness.
Come, why don't you
You're okay.
step up?
We're going to switch.
We're switching?
Okay, yeah, stay right there. President Peterson.
Lights.
It's your ready.
Okay, folks, please join me in another round of applause for all of the performers today, including Ellen Sherry and the Northwestern High School Choir. Thank you.
as we get ready to officially dedicate these buildings, I'd like to invite the additional docents and staff who are in the buildings to join us. Let's bring as many members of our community together as possible. Nancy McCall from the Hopkins Archives is here, and she has brought with her the dissecting scissors used by Vivian Thomas. Nancy, wherever you are. Oh, you're behind me. Okay.
She's hiding.
She's hiding the scissors. Okay. Thank you, Nancy. As a surgical assistant, Dr. Thomas collaborated with Alfred Blaylock and Helen Taussig in pioneering a landmark procedure to correct a congenital heart defect. Known as the Blue Baby procedure, it saved the lives of thousands of infants, enabling them to leave healthy adult lives. Equally important, it opened the door to a new era of heart surgery previously believed to be impossible. We can think of no better means by which to cut this ribbon to open our new doors.
Your Highnesses, Mayor Bloomberg, Marjorie Tiven, Senator Mikulski, Governor O'Malley, Mayor Rawlings Blake, President Daniels, honored guests, we are so grateful to have you here to take part in this occasion, which has such significance for the Hopkins community, for Baltimore, for Maryland, and indeed for patients around the world. And we have asked one very special patient to cut the ribbon today. This is Gavin. Not yet. We're going to count. 3, 2, 1. Go, Gavin.
We're done. We didn't move the last part.
Ladies and gentlemen, the doors are now open. Please join us inside where the celebration continues with a reception and tours of the new facility. Have a great evening.